As we're up here at the start line for the Temple Challenge Cup, Oxford Brookes University A and Syracuse University, United States of America. And what a race we're going to have here.
Yeah, Brookes the winners last year. They were in the final with the University of London. Again, I think Brookes have come into this one the favourites. Syracuse has come over from the United States. This is a mixture of their first and their second eight. These are fourth year. So graduates, these athletes have graduated from the university. Syracuse were 8th at the IRA National Championships with their first varsity eight a few weeks ago. So again, on the way here, in the last race, Syracuse beat Trinity College Dublin by about 2.5 lengths, and Oxford Brookes raced Imperial College, another British university, and beat them by a length and a half. Syracuse were 6 seconds faster, but I don't know if that really belies what the result will be today. I wouldn't take the times too much to heart.
No, I saw Oxford Brookes University A racing yesterday, and they had a very comfortable row through, so I think it's probably not much we can take from these previous rounds with these two, and we knew that they would face one another today. I'm sure Justin Stangl, the coach of the Syracuse University crew, sitting in the coach boat, said that the guys are all excited to be here. None of them have even been to England before, let alone to the Henley Regatta, so they're just excited to be here and no doubt be through to the Friday.
And the rest of the UK is just like this. Yeah, clean start by both crews, really aggressive. Oxford Brookes really clean with their blade work. Syracuse a little bit of wobbly with their steering there. Let's see where they are when they come out to the end of the island. Brookes seem to be a little bit ahead. Yeah, from the side camera there. It's about a canvas, so 6 to 8 feet ahead. Both crews really attacking this. And Syracuse will be used to this kind of match racing. They get this week in, week out in the United States.
Yeah, it's the type of racing that you typically don't see in many other places in the world, but it is the American crews that are particularly adept at handling it, because they do have opportunities to do this sort of racing, these more intimate style grudge matches.
Yeah, they're all part of a certain division, and then they race the other crews within that division throughout the season. And in the end, they go to the IRAs, or for the women, it's the NCAAs, and they have 6-lane racing then. But Brookes here out to half, 3/4 of a length. Just seems to be moving really nicely there. Syracuse crew just looks a little bit heavier, doesn't it?
It does, just a little lifty off the front. Not quite as flat and fluid through the front end of the stroke.
You can see the handles, the blades go deep a little bit, don't they? And then the blades come out a bit earlier. And they just the blade spoon, the orange bit at the end, is not in the water for quite as long as the Brookes crew. The Brookes crew, that's what they do really well across their eights, is the blades stay in the water for a really long time.
And that's such an important part of eights racing. You really can't afford to miss that last little bit. There's so much purchase that you get each stroke by just being able to hold the blade through into the water, being able to hold that handle up and really send the boat away and let the blade come out almost when it wants to, rather than wrenching it out and flicking that water up towards the sky. So you've really got to hold that last bit of power through, and it gives you so much more boat run and length.
And one of the ironies, I think, that's amazing from when you're looking at a crew that's going really well, is that they spend a lot of time in the water. And you don't get that by pulling less hard. Ironically, by getting the pressure on really early and pushing really hard, you actually create more time in the water. It doesn't make any sense. You end up creating more load, creating more power, more work. The blades spend more time in the water.
That's right, and Oxford Brookes have such a strong program. And I've mentioned it before in the commentary that certainly from our perspective in Australia and being involved with Sydney University Boat Club, this is a model for what we would love to have, you know, 3 eights out on the water, just churning it out session by session, side by side. They have a great program.
And the Brookes, it's a great program, and the culture and philosophy of the hard workers. No, it's not the only university that does that, but they do use a bit of science. They do have the telemetry system on their 2/8s permanently, and they're measuring what these guys are doing. Are they working hard enough? Are they working consistent enough? Or is somebody working too hard? So it's pretty scientific, even if it's not. They don't brag about it, to be honest. But you know, rowing really nicely here, making it look really simple, don't they?
They do. There's just nothing that's hard or forced about what they're doing. You look at their blades as they chip into the water together, that even splash off both sides of the blade. Nice and clean in, nice and clean out of the water.
Yeah.
Body's really simple, moving together. They're just doing the basics really well here.
The thing I find interesting in the last several years watching these eights, there's tandems in eights a lot more. When I rode back in the day, you hardly ever saw it. And if you did see an eight with it, you generally thought they were in trouble. But now, even both of these crews both have a tandem in the middle of their boat. So it's become much more commonplace in these crews.
And why would you consider putting a tandem in, or why do you think people are doing that now, Adrian?
I don't actually really know. I mean, maybe because they have information like telemetry, they can see what people are doing a bit more. In a coxless 4 or in a cox 4, it does make sense because actually a boat with a tandem will generally go straighter because of the leverages. But in an 8, that doesn't make the boat's too long. That's not going to make a difference. It's hard to explain. I don't know exactly what reason. Maybe you've got issues with guys who can create rhythm who can't, and you can't put them on different sides.
Yeah, I know that when we've done it in the past, it tended to either be a seating issue in that it's really specific about who you have where in an 8, and you have certain people rowing in certain seats based on either their technical capability or their strength or their rhythm. So there's quite a lot of thought that goes into the seating of these boats in the 8s. Everyone has a role to play. And so that can be quite important. And if you have someone that just doesn't quite work in a seat, then perhaps a tandem rig allows you to move someone into a seat that they wouldn't be able to row in a straight rig or a conventional rig, for example.
Yeah.
But also I know when we've had people who've been having technical difficulties or they're trying to make a technical change, actually putting the tandem in and having them follow someone on the same side. So you can see in the Brookes crew here a great shot of the tandem rig in the 4 and the 5 seats. So that's in the middle of the boat. You've got 2 guys sitting in consecutive seats who are rowing the same side. It just allows for that person who's maybe struggling to row directly behind someone rowing on the same side and mirror what they're doing. So they were some of the reasons that we used it. But like you say, I think probably the fact that people have biomechanics on the boat all of the time now, they can see the force curves, they get more accurate readings about power and how that might affect the boat. Could be another reason why they do it as well.
And the Syracuse crew here, I mean, Molsey moved out quite quickly. I mean, not Molsey, Oxford Brookes moved out to lengthen up quite quickly, but hasn't really grown the margin. Syracuse really have stayed on top of this. But I think it's a big ask for them to come back from that position now.
And Oxford Brookes are in the ultimate attacking position. If Syracuse was to do something considerable here, they have the measure of them, so they're not going to let that happen.
And Molsey now looking at it, taking it much more easily, coming into the last part of this paddling in there. A good sort of victory there.
Yeah, Oxford Brookes University A, just over a length over Syracuse University from the United States of America, and great to have so many crews joining us from the US.